United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Good evening, everybody. No? Yeah. All right. We'll start with approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Move and second. Any comments on the agenda we have for this evening? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Approved agenda. We're on to comments and suggestions from citizens. Our friend from the North Scott Press, do you have any? No, just joking. So, not seeing anybody watching online, you can always email Mr. Studding or any of us board members, and we'll share it amongst ourselves. And there's also a form online to do as well. So, okay. All right, moving on to consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, so moving second. Any discussion on any of the items on the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, they're approved. All right, moving on to recognitions. Joe?
Yeah, so I should let Jill do this. This is her and her staff's ASBO Association Award again for the 41st straight year. So congratulations, Jill and your staff.
Thank you, Joe. Good job. All right, moving on to bills.
This evening I have $943,062 of the bills presented for approval for payment. The items I have to highlight are a payment to American Flagpole and Flag Company for $4,385 for a new flagpole system at the softball complex. A payment to Apple for $23,118, which is for new iPads, like our normal cycle replacement for next year's use. And then the third quarter SRO expenses of $10,546 for the city of Eldridge. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion or questions for Jill on the bills? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the bills for the month of May, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, bills are approved. Committee reports, there are none. We have no reports. Deputy Health school year is out. There's no old business. Moving on to new business. Mr. Porter, you have liability insurance rates.
Yes. Well, my name's Seth Porter. I think we all know each other. But anyway, so a brief rundown of the district's insurance. The marketplace continues to be challenging with, of course, the consequences of storm activity and inflation and legal settlements. We had prepared leadership for 10 to 15% rate adjustment. Trying to be conservative. The initial quoted rate adjustment was about 9%. After an alteration of the deductible, it's about 6%. So not great, certainly more than we're accustomed to, but it's trending in the right direction from prior years. So to give you all some data of why rates have done what they've done in the last 4 or 5 years, EMC for the last 7 years on average has paid out $1.24 for every property insurance dollar taken in. Okay, to reach a point of profit, it's about 70 cents. Okay, so they've been severely underwater. You take out the derecho year, and it's still 0.95, 95 cents on the dollar. So not good. This IASB program, the payout trend is also, overall payout trend is not great. From 2002 to 2010, they paid out an average $8.5 million a year. Okay, from 2010 to 2018, they paid out an average of $32 million a year, and from 2016 to 23, they paid out an average of $68 million a year. Okay, so significant leaps in payouts again due to inflation and storm activity and rising legal settlements. Okay, so when we really don't like giving negative information, and especially with budgets what they are. But that's kind of the data behind what's going on. Okay. Again, the nicety of the program is that profits are capped at 5%. So at some point in time, when these premiums get to the point where the program is profitable again, you know, EMC keeps 5%, and the rest is thrown back to the members in the form of a dividend. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay.
Is that lower, Seth, 5%?
I'm sorry?
Is the 5% lower this time than they keep 5%?
Yeah, well, yeah, if they're profitable, they keep up to 5%.
Up to 5%.
Yeah, up to 5%, yeah. A major change, really two major coverage changes this year. Last year, EMC implemented flat wind and hail deductibles on buildings over a certain property value. This year, buildings over a certain property value have a 1% wind and hail deductible, okay? It's impactful here in Eldridge because this is where our concentration of property is, okay? At the current $25,000 deductible, we face a significant wind and hail deductible here in Eldridge of about $1.5 million if we're hit by a hailstorm, okay? So obviously that's pretty impactful to the district, okay? Fortunately, not all our buildings are really hail susceptible, but it absolutely could happen. Hail and wind, I should say, okay? So one of the reasons why we recommended going from a $25,000 all peril deductible to a $50,000 is not only do we save about $26,000 for the year, but buildings under a certain value, under $5 million, no longer are thrown into that percentage wind and hail deductible when they go to our occurrence deductible. So it actually reduces the district's overall deductible risk as well. So. Any questions there? No? Okay. The next big change is that roofs over 15 years, instead of going to replacement costs or being at replacement costs or actual cash value. So it'll be an appreciated settlement. And neither of these deductible changes or claim settlement changes are unusual. It's all what's happening in the commercial insurance industry.
So can you give us an idea of what that would be like? So what would it cost to replace like the roof on one of the schools versus what?
Well,
Any idea?
yeah, that's a good question. So we'll just use the high school, right? The high school's insured for almost $70 million, okay? So 1% is $700,000 deductible. And I presume that'll eat up most of our costs to replace the roof, I would think. If we
Well,
need to.
you couldn't imagine the whole roof.
Yeah.
It's 4 acres.
That's what I kinda said.
We had a windstorm on the high school, or the junior high gym, and we had to replace it.
200,000.
200,000.
Between 150 and 2,000 if my memory serves me right for that section.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So it's really for catastrophic.
They're getting out of the.
So we're gonna have to self-perform a lot of.
Yep.
Think of the amount of storms we're having now with hail and wind, that's why it's, the cost every year is going up for them payout, and they're getting out of business, but I think our homeowners insurance and other people are doing the same thing
Same thing,
anyway, going,
yep.
we can't afford to keep paying for this, so.
And really, EMC is late, 2 or 3 years late to the game in this. I mean, they didn't really want to do this, but where we've seen it in other sectors that's happened 2 or 3 years ago, we've seen a return to profitability. And what we can't control the storms, but we do need to have some rate stability for our schools. So hopefully it gets there. I think it will. On a really high note, the one cost that we can control to a high degree is our work comp. And North Scott is doing a phenomenal job. The last 2 years, 2022 to 23, we had a payout of $39,000. This year to date was $18,500. Okay, on average we're at $80,000. Okay, so putting that in perspective is great. So what is happening here with return to work and our culture is really, really strong. I mean, the momentum we have there is tremendous because it really reduces our work comp costs. Okay, our work comp costs are credited to the maximum available by law due to what the district's doing. And the district received a 15% dividend, about 10% of our premium back this year because of the low loss activity. And next year, assuming nothing happens between now and first of the month, will be even better. So.
Great. What is our mod factor?
Our mod factor this term ending 7/1 is 1.00, and going into 24, 25, it's 1.07. And actually, I think that's the only time it's been over 1.
Yeah.
As long as
Maybe-
I've been here.
Yeah, maybe
Yes,
12, 15 years.
Yeah.
But there's one, it's gonna be temporary, because our healthier years here are gonna factor into that equation, and so they'll fall back down.
Okay, good.
Other topics, obviously the state of Iowa, by law is giving districts the opportunity, or the ability, to have, paid staff, to carry weapons. And just to be clear, EMC is 100% against that. They are, only for, law enforcement officers carry weapons in schools. So, to my knowledge, it hasn't had been addressed with the district directly in Iowa, but I assume that, it's being, insurance is being verified first, and that's a major factor, obviously, so.
Do we have to have some kind of clause in that we require them to let us know? I mean,
We would have to pass policy to allow it.
Right.
to allow it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have to have a policy that says no. We would have to have, right now by law, have a policy that says yes. And at that point, EMC's already said they will not cover our
Okay.
liability. So
Yeah.
that's the statement they've come out with. Obviously, if a district or a district wanted to pass that policy, then you'd have to go out and find an insurance.
Right.
company. So, yeah, there's really no action the board has to take.
But there were two school districts that wanted to do it.
Prior to this, and EMC had already come out to them and
Said
told
they
them, and then,
wouldn't.
so they dropped it.
But
Yeah.
didn't the legislators come back and say they wanted, EMC had to? I mean, I heard this, I'm just,
I don't think it made it
or they
into
were
the
gonna
law.
try to find somebody else
Mhm.
to cover it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and from an insurance perspective, it's a very complex situation.
Sure.
In the most recent shooting that occurred, I mean, there's 4 or 5 lawsuits coming from different directions, and it's very complicated. So I would be very doubtful that there's a viable insurance option out there that covers really all the risks that,
Sure.
that are really there at a viable coverage limit. Okay. Any overall
But
questions?
EMC would cover police, I mean, they play.
Yes,
police
uniformed
Oh, yeah.
officers, or paid police officers. yes.
Paid, okay.
Paid law enforcement.
The only other thing that you didn't bring up was EMC offered another $5 million
Yes.
on our umbrella. I recommend us not paying for it, partly because they're trying to cover less and less, so why would we increase our umbrella? And the max, we already have more than what any settlement there's ever been, right? Or what was that statement?
Yeah, so, in the past, I think, 2 years, there've been 2, if not 3 claims settled around that $8 to $9 million mark, which far exceeds what has happened in the past. So the trend is not good. So in terms of what actual claims paid, 8 to 9 versus our 15 that's out there right now in total liability. But they did offer an additional 5, so it would take us from 15 to 20, if we choose.
And my guess is that'd be available next year from this point forward, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think that market's stabilizing a little bit,
Yeah.
so.
I just had a hard time increasing our cost more we already have a good amount of insurance based off the trend. Obviously, there's a lawsuit that's gonna happen that could become their highest liability ever in the state of Iowa, and we can see what time goes, but at the same time, I mean, they basically told us, we're not covering wind and damage. Or hail, wind and hail, and it's like, wait a minute, you wanna cover less, but you're offering me more insurance. Don't. So anyway, that's a board decision to make. I'm recommending not to add the $5 million.
So with the not 5 million added, so last year we paid, was it 770 for? insurance?
About 706,000.
And then, so what are we up to this year?
This year, if we change our deductible from 25 to 50,000 on
Yeah.
property, 747,109.
Do we add any buildings to that? We haven't even have to add any of the additional, like the addition to Shepherd?
Yeah.
That's part of it,
Yeah.
that's already
Yeah.
calculated.
And quite a bit of an increase, really.
It is, yeah, and I didn't
Most of it.
quantify that, but it's,
The builder's risk went from like $1,000 to 51.5.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So those
tens of
those come
millions more
online,
property.
they're already included in
It just becomes insurance versus builder risk.
Right.
Yep, yep, correct, yep.
Builder risk meaning in process.
While they're building it, with liability.
So you're looking for board approval tonight for the 740, basically?
Yep, to move forward with Porter and EMC for our general liability and workman's comp for the 24-25 school year.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion seconded. Any further discussion for Seth or Jill or Joe here on the liability insurance rates? All right, all those in favor of approving the 24-25 liability insurance rates, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we are approved.
Thanks, Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now moving on to student-built homes for next year.
James, you can go ahead and just cover all, you can go ahead just like you did last time,
Yeah.
cover all of them. I know
Yeah.
they're all separate motions,
Yeah.
but if that's okay with the board, like you did last
Yes.
time,
Yeah.
just cover everything you're gonna recommend tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you gonna put your,
First of all,
apprentice on the spot here?
I believe you guys all know David Leonard.
Once a master,
Actually, he'll be taking over, actually, he's already taken over some
Yes,
things,
yes.
So we've got a pile of them. Precision Heating and Air, $1,718 discount. Fireplace Barbecue Warehouse, $800 discount. River City Pella, you guys may remember they donated all the windows for the Ed White remodel. They donated half of the value of the window order this year for the student-built home, so that's $4,657.92. Shalou Masonry, $700 discount. Eastern Iowa Overhead Doors, $2,192 discount. Cody Insulation, $500 discount. Hill Painting, $3,200 discount. QC Cabinetry Doors and Trim. Bid is $1,389.94 discount. For the cabinets, we got a $2,286 discount. Kuzma Marble and Granite at $2,043 discount. And that, you did ask last time about bids. We were able to get a second bid in this time. We were not always able to get them in on the granite because they know that the other guy bidding on it is the instructor. They had a 20% discount. This was still $3,000 lower. So, KE Flatwork, there was no discount there. And then we did just get word that the county supervisors, the board voted to donate all of the permit fees, so that was $2,400. And then recently we had another one come in for Steve's Mirror Glass for an $843.49 discount. That puts us at just under 31,000 discounts for the year.
Wow. Amazing.
And that's all we have.
James, how many people did we have bid on all these projects? I mean.
I'd have to go back and look. It's, I'm not gonna lie to you, Frank, sometimes we send out 5 requests for bid and we get 1 or 2. We'd be happy to share if anybody.
I would like to
wants-
see,
Yeah.
who's bidding, who's not
Yeah,
bidding.
we
just
got a
for that
spreadsheet
standpoint.
that we can share with you. You can see what's been requested and what's
Sure.
been submitted. And we've got a folder. You can take a look at those bids if you'd like to and just see.
Would anybody else want to be added to the spreadsheet with bids?
Why don't you send it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do $1, or if you send it to me, I can send them the link.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and if
Just nice to know
anybody in the
who's
community
doing it.
listening or board member, if you know somebody who does those kind of work, obviously they seek bids, they also seek people who can work well with kids. Cause it isn't just for these contractors to do the work, it's help teach our kids, even if it's, like the licensed electricians. They have to do the work, but they help our kids learn it alongside of them. And so you're really looking for 2 things.
Well,
For discount.
and also quality. For example, right now we sent out a request for bid for our drywall wood. And we've got 2 prices. One of them is roughly $4,500 more than the other, about 25% more than the other. They do outstanding, amazing work. the other company that was extremely low, they were a nightmare to work with. We had all kinds of issues with their work. And so, just like with the school here, you don't always necessarily want to take, I mean, maybe you have to take the lowest bid, but we're trying to make sure that we're building a quality house. And so, you may occasionally see that there's a bid that was accepted that was not the lowest bid, and I'd be happy, even though you don't
Yeah,
have
we just,
questions
you
about
need,
that.
we could do the same thing on any of our projects. If there's a person bidding us a little bit we know is not of quality, we've had bad experiences with.
Poor past performance.
Poor past performance, we can exclude them. So just put those notes in, David, if you ever come across that we're taking a
Okay.
higher bid, the reason why.
All right, and I shared that with you right now.
Okay.
David, you're gonna start the, trade advisory board?
Yeah, I'll be having the same role as James, we'll be meeting
Okay.
at the same time.
Yeah, that was really instrumental, that was really good.
Yeah,
to have that.
he's done a good job kind of preparing me in paperwork and
Yeah.
kind of a project schedule chart to keep me on the timeline that we're.
Super. We'll miss you, James,
Yeah,
Wow.
You should get on this board.
but you're not far.
We know you're worried about it.
I'm gonna miss it too.
I bet you did.
I have, they'll do a good job.
Right before, so here's kind of how I'd like to handle this. So I'll handle any discussion on any of these right now, and then we'll have to go through a motion in a second on every single one of
I
them.
think one motion.
Yeah, no, we have to do a motion on every
Separate,
single
okay.
one. But I just, instead of me asking for discussion on every single one, if there's any questions
Right.
right now, we'll just ask them right now on any of these. So we just get through it quicker. So is there any discussion on, anything on items B through M?
I move we accept the precision heating and air bid. Second.
Been seconded, all those in favor of approving the precision heating and air bid for next year's school, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, it's approved. And on to fireplace barbecue.
I move that we pass the fireplace barbecue warehouse bid.
Second.
Alright, moved and seconded, and all those in favor of approving the aforementioned bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, that one's approved. On to River City Pella.
I move that we accept River City Pella bid. Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor of approving the River City Pella bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, on to
I move
Shalou
that
Masonry,
we
is that-
approve Shalou Masonry. Second.
Okay, moved and seconded, all those in favor of approving Shalou Masonry's, estimate, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, Eastern Iowa overhead doors.
You're doing a great job. Okay, I move that we approve Eastern Iowa overhead doors. Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor of approving Eastern Iowa overhead doors, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, Cody's insulation.
I move we approve Cody's insulation, sorry.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving Cody's insulation bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, on to Hill Painting.
I move that we accept Hill painting bid. Second.
Alright, all those in favor of approving the Hill Painting bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, we're approved. QC cabinetry, doors and trim.
I move that we approve QC cabinetry for the doors and trim bid. Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor of approving the doors and trim bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, on the cabinets.
I move that we approve the QC cabinetry bid for cabinets. Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded, all those in favor of approving the QC cabinetry cabinets bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Oh, you're losing your mustard here, it sounds exciting.
I know.
First start, alright, on to casino.
Cousineau.
Cousineau,
I
sorry.
move that we approve Cousineau marble and granite bid. Second.
It's moved and seconded, all those in favor of approving the marble and granite bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Alright, we're approved. KE flat work.
I move that we approve the KE flatwork bid. Second.
Alright, it's moved and seconded, all those in favor of approving the KE flat work bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? right, Steve's Mirror and Glass.
I move that we approve the Steve's Mirror and Glass bid. Second.
So moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving the Steve's Mirror and Glass bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that one's approved as well. Now on to the next year's, we have a change order for Pearson Plumbing, it looks like.
Yes, we added a laundry room sink and removed a tub, or I'm sorry, a shower base in this change order. Added, I believe it was around $1,000. Yeah, I apologize, forgot to mention.
1,016.
Or 16, yeah. Sorry, it's been a little while.
That's all right.
I motion to approve the change order for Peterson Plumbing.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Any discussion on this change order? All right, all those in favor of approving the change orders for Peterson Plumbing for the Stumbo home for next year, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that one is approved. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You tell Mr. Lindbergh that we grill him much harder during the school.
No pressure, right?
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, David, I'll give you access to it.
What's that?
If you can give access to us on this sheet, you
Oh.
have access to it.
Yeah.
Not a big deal right now.
I just forwarded on to them.
Okay.
You'll
Hold
have
on.
to give access.
No, not right now.
You know.
We're not gonna look at it.
Okay.
Just like-
Just come to the next board meeting, no.
All right, Lancer Wrestling Facility, we have a change order.
Yeah, the first one, Prime Construction, for $5,561.85 is, we had old piles in there, and we wanted to cover them up so it made the whole room look the same, and so that's what that's for.
I move that we approve change order number 9 for Prime Construction Services.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this change order? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the change order, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, change order 9 is approved. On to change order 10.
Yeah, for the next one, for Valley, well, Kohler, it's for changing out, getting in automatic flush valves in the circuits that are needed for it for $8,575.08, and that's consistent throughout the whole district.
I
That was
move
our request.
I move that we approve change order number 10 for Valley Commercial Construction.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this change order? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the change order 10, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, change order 10 is approved. Now on to the district solar bid results.
So we did get 2 solar bid results, one from Acme Electric Company, which was what we consider a complete bid, and then one from number 1 Source Solar from Acme, which is an incomplete bid. Has estimates. Acme went fencing around all the things. It's just the numbers are more accurate. One thing when we met with Acme, we also found out we qualify for direct pay from the federal government from the IRA Act, which would give us almost $1.5 million back. So the recommendation is to start working with Acme. These prices are good through 2025, so we'd be doing this over 2 fiscal years. So we'd do some this summer. We would start with the smaller projects, ones where the land's available, and then work our way towards Eldridge. Eldridge gets to be much more complicated, especially with the amount of space we have at the high school and that type of stuff. So I know it's a lot of information. You received it today, but that would be our Scott and I's recommendation to start our solar projects.
When are you looking at starting?
We would start them as soon as possible. We would start meeting with them to really lay out the projects. We gave them estimates. They looked at it, came around, both of them did tour the district. They know approximately. We obviously would finalize everything. Where is it going to go at? We never would want to put them in a place that we might expand to. We want to put them in a place that's the least amount of eyesore, but obviously gets the most amount of sun. So Scott would start working with them.
So
fairly
would you
soon.
do one building and finish it and move, or
We would probably do 2 or 3
Start,
buildings this
like,
summer.
okay.
So, Grissom is a fairly straightforward project. Neil Armstrong's a straightforward project in the sense they have land available. And they're on the major utilities. Our Regional Innovation Center would probably be this fall sometime. So we would start with the buildings that have the land and are with the major utilities because it's a fair process. but it takes over a month to get approval for a solar. So you get your design, you get that, you have to turn it into the board. The state board then approves it, or Mid-America or Alliant, they approve it then. So it's not a.
So Shepherd wouldn't be right away because of the
Oh.
system they're on, or would they be on there as well?
Well, because it's a local utility, it's a little bit more complicated,
Okay.
but the numbers look really good for Shepherd
And
too.
then the Eldridge School is just space, we need to kind of
It's space,
figure out space.
we'll have some roofs, but would carports that we could plow around, would they be cost effective, I don't know what they raise our costs, so those are kind of questions we wanna answer, is if we could stay off the roof and do like a carport, would we get enough sunlight, and would that be something we'd consider? So it gets to be a little bit more complicated when you just don't have flat bank available.
Gotcha.
Staff undercover parking.
Staff undercover parking, yeah.
In the
But
side slot, right?
obviously coming in, so a plow can come in there and not, because you can't, it gets to be complicated.
Right,
Well,
okay,
they're
thank
just
you.
T-shaped, right?
Yeah.
Say that again?
They're always T-shaped.
Yeah.
So when we look at Acme, Joe, we got a $5 million price tag, so if we go to approve it tonight, do they have to come back to us for approval on each individual project?
I
or
would
how
bring
is
each
that?
project
Okay.
back to you to let you know, hey, here's what's happening with the projects, here's what we're considering, and here's what the price would be for each individual project. But I would ask for a motion to approve Acme and maybe not to exceed $5.2 million at this point for it, which again, we're getting 1.5 of that million back, so we're really gonna spend about 3.6 million.
Over 2 years.
Just over 2 years, correct. And just to remind you, we did John Glenn, and we know over the last 3 years, John Glenn's been saving $20-some thousand a year.
And this would be out of our
So,
bond money?
what's that?
This is out of our bond money?
This would be bond, it could be paid out of bond, could also be paid out of save over 2 years, depending on how things all work out with it. Money-wise, we have the money for it, and again, as soon as you get it up and running, it saves the general budget for that building, because the electric or utility expenses come from general budget.
When they're all up and running, what is the anticipated savings?
Our estimate back when we did John Glenn was gonna be around $500,000 or over $500,000 out of general budget if all buildings were up. Now, that was also before we added a few buildings too.
Sure.
And so it probably is gonna be excess that. If you look at the backs and look at each building, the final year savings, then that would be the amount of electricity it's producing. That would probably be the number.
892.
892,
Yeah.
so it's a significant,
Big deal.
you know, we have a lot of lights. We heat a lot of buildings, you know, and we have, we use a lot of electricity, so.
Well, and that's what the Innovation Center being 28, which is the size of, which is the electricity for Grissom. So
Yeah.
obviously that they don't know what
Yeah.
to anticipate for that. So we would expect it to be much more than that.
It is, all the buildings being solar, obviously we're being green, right? We're doing that, but from just a financial standpoint, because we have the bonds and it saves general budget, and the one budget that we get the most restricted on the general budget, it's a win for us. And knowing we now qualify for the 30%, which I never knew until we did this bidding. I always thought it was tax credits, we don't pay taxes, and so we never qualify. Well, I didn't realize that, so 30% of this is coming back to us.
Great surprise.
Yeah.
So it's really only it's really a 4-year payback. I'm assuming we did them all at once, 3.7, and the whatever estimated of 900 is really a 4-year.
Yeah, they do each building including that rebate on the years back. So when you go through the Acme, you will see their estimate of paying back every one of the projects. And they're a little different on their size and how much you have to invest, but also we can do 80% with major utilities. We can only do 55% electricity production with local utilities. So there is going to be some differences there. And the major utilities, in layman's terms, collect your money for all year and it disperses it throughout the year. The locals are month by month. So the problem with that is you overproduce, then if you go too high, you'd be overproducing in the summer and you're only getting back a few pennies per kilowatt and you're really not paying back on your investment. So that's why there's a difference in it too. But all of their numbers, even knowing that, come out as a win for the district. They're not, if they were 20+ year payoffs, I'd say don't invest 20 years in something. We don't, that's too long of a payoff. But when they're all, I think 13 might be the hot number of years. I always figure 15 years or less is an investment, kind of like we did with propane buses. they paid off themselves in a short period of time for the extra cost, so.
Make a motion to accept the solar bids to Acme Electric Company not to exceed 5.2 million.
Yeah, 5.228132.
And
That's the whole number. Thank you.
228,
Thank you.
et cetera. Million. As amended.
That's one motion, can I get a second?
Second.
All right, so we motioned and seconded. Any further discussion on these? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approving the solar bid to Acme Electric Company for the not to exceed amount listed on the cover sheet, and with the mind that, Joe, you're gonna come back to us at each
Yeah.
individual project
Yeah.
before we
They're
bring it down,
complicated
so-
enough, that we need to keep you
Yeah.
guys informed.
All right, so all those in favor of approving all that I said, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are approved. Thank you, everybody, for that. Now we're on to a board resolution. Ready?
Save the exciting stuff for later.
Exactly.
I don't know, maybe over 5 years ago, the legislators approved, with board approval, we could transfer a board-approved amount from the general fund to the activity fund to help pay for safety equipment type items. This is an annual request, we've been doing it ever since then, and I would like to ask for the $25,000, or not to exceed 25,000. I'll only transfer over what, as of the end of the year, what we've actually paid, but not to exceed 25,000 for the 23-24 school year from the general fund to activity for safety equipment.
24, 25, or 23?
Oh, 23-24, did I say 24, 25?
No, you
No,
said.
you said 23.
This is for the year, finishing up the year we're in,
Okay,
yep.
all right.
I usually wait to make sure that we're gonna spend it, because I wouldn't want you to approve something we wouldn't spend.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
So motion seconded. Any further discussion on this yearly resolution?
How much do we usually end up transferring?
25,000.
It does.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. All those in favor of approving the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, resolution is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now on to superintendent report.
Okay, the enrollment's included in there. We had an opportunity, because we had time in between to tour the stadium. You can see the turf's gonna be done this week. They should be out of there either Thursday or Friday. And then the track will start sometime after the July 4th, so the track will be done by the end of July, or even maybe potentially the third week of July. And the cement's getting started, and so things are progressing along nice there. The RIC, a lot of cement work happening. The second half of the building, they're starting to work in there. They hadn't poured, they may have poured it today. It's a little bit more cement on the inside of the facility. The walls are going up quickly there, and the cement on the outside is getting done, which will be really nice to get that completed. But we're moving along on that one. And I was driving by the other day, they're doing the utility work now inside of the greenhouses, and so that's good to see. And then Shepherd, they did fix the tile already. I know Mark had asked that, it's already done. So they came in and repaired the tile, so they're already doing the punch list there. Armstrong, if you've been by there, the masons are done with their firewall, and Thursday they're delivering the gym walls, and by the time I get back, probably the gym will be standing with a roof on it. And so that, when you do precast, they go up pretty quick, and so that'll start this week, at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. Junior high, the demo is done, and they're rebuilding the walls and the inside of the building already. And the roof is being installed on the new addition already there. So things are going very well. Wrestling room, the masons are finally done in there, and so they're getting ready to start putting in the ceiling and all the drywall within that building. And they're finishing up the painting of the wrestling rooms, and they moved the mats, so they're able to finish. They finished the sprinklers in there, and the lights will be going in, and so that one will be done here sometime in early July. And then welding inside, they're doing the HVAC work. The new walls are all put in back in on the inside, and the panels. We walked around football, you see the panels are going up on the new building, but as soon as they're done there, they go over and they start on that building, and I would say the next 3 weeks they'll have all the panels up on both buildings and be done with that too. And they'll start pouring cement around and finishing off the cement around the welding shop. And so when the panel's up, it'll look like one building. It'll look like it was never a building with an addition on there. So, again, weather's worked out well for us. February has been great, and so things are moving along. The other thing I wanted to mention is, well, I sent you guys a copy today of the end of the year report that we have. We'll use that next week, next month for by eval. It's always good for the eval, and then our board eval. But the July board meeting, remember, is the 4th Monday.
It won't be.
So your calendars, if you do like I do, and you say just book this all year long, you end up with extra meetings in there when we change it. It won't be the 3rd, it'll be the 4th.
22nd.
The 22nd, July
And it'll be here.
22nd. And it'll be in here. We'll have it in here. We don't anticipate board
There's
meeting
just
being
one in
available.
July.
We just have the one.
Just one in July, yep. I would anticipate we'd probably do a 5 o'clock board self-eval and superintendent evaluation, and then go into our board meeting. 22nd, July 22nd. And that's all I have.
All right, any questions for Joe? All right, any board comments, correspondence?
Just want to add, I know that I don't know if we mentioned, I think we mentioned it last board meeting, but we did have the girls' state golf goals.
Yep.
You can say all the girls that were on that.
Addison Eckhart, Casey Newman, Kalina Stoffen, AJ Levens, and McKinley Toohey, and Bryn Westhoff. They got 8th place overall, and Addison was in the top 20. She got 18th place.
And that was, I don't remember how many, that was kind of a comeback on day 2, right?
Day 2, they shot.
Day 2, they really shot well, yeah.
Full scored.
I think 2 of the girls had their personal best on.
Yeah.
So, that was good. And then, girls soccer, I know we
And
mentioned.
girls soccer. Girls soccer made the semifinals, upset the number 2 ranked team in state, and then got beat by Dallas Center Grimes, who's now 3-time state champions in the semifinals. And Dallas Center Grimes must have soccer going on because their boys won it too.
Yep.
And so, yes, yeah.
The only other thing, I know that Joe sent something out. Both he and I went up to Ankeny for the ISB Summit for Student Success, and got to hear Hamish Brewer, who is this? He's from Australia.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
He had a foreign accent. And he was, to me, he was a treat to listen to. He really had a great story. And I know Joe skipped out on one of the sessions because he said he had some time to talk to him in between, so he got to know him a little bit better. But it was, his story was really kind of unique.
Yeah.
And then they also had 3 breakout sessions, hour long. Got to go to one that was talking about the, we just got money for it.
Oh, the therapeutic rooms.
The therapeutic room.
Yeah, you essentially the grant.
And that was from Alma Key School District. Unfortunately, they presented, and then at the end of their presentation said that they will not have that therapeutic room next year because they don't have the money, and there's new superintendent said, no, we're not gonna spend any money on that. So I thought it was a shame because they seemed like they had a pretty good setup, but thought it was good, and
Yeah, I would agree. It was neat because a lot of times they do a keynote speaker, they just come in, they maybe kick it off. But the way they did it is he spoke at the beginning for a little while, and he did a lunch keynote, and then he finished up talking. I liked how they spread it out. I also attended one on work experience and pre-apprenticeships, not apprenticeships, but there's another term for it. In the center of state, they're doing a lot of them. They're a lot more flexible than an apprenticeship, and many of them are lined up with the union work centers out there. So like one of them they described is when the students went through it, they finished 5 of the 6 courses they have to take in their first year. I was really surprised, and that seems to be really growing. I think part of it is just the flexibility on how you can set them up versus there's a lot of regulations to a federal apprenticeship program. And I'd never heard of that before, so I passed that on to our high school staff, saying, well, how do we get some more of these things going? So, but it was very good.
that's all I had.
Oh, we can. Michelle Scandal, our new communications director.
That's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Hello.
Started, boy, has it been not quite a month?
On the first.
On the first, so,
Welcome.
really jumping on board. There's a lot to learn on just the different programs and stuff we use, and obviously learned how to stream our meetings tonight, so. Just doing a great
Thank
job.
Welcome,
Well, welcome
Michelle.
aboard.
Congrats.
All right, any other comments, correspondence?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Postmark, 45.
Seth talked.
He did.
So-